Hey everyone, and welcome to Dro's Desktop. This is my daily VOD review for NA LCS match between CLG versus TSM. So we'll go into it here. We'll just skip through a little bit of the picks and bans. I should have done this before, I'm very sorry. So we get to the end here. CLG have Ryze in the top lane, a support Morgana, a mid lane Victor, an Ashe in the AD carry role, and a Rek'Sai in the jungle. TSM are rocking a Fiora top lane, Graves jungle, Lissandra mid lane, Kalista and Alistar bot lane. Just from pure looking at the things, TSM have a much stronger comp. So we'll just get into it here. I don't know how, really bad draft here by CLG to be able to give away this comp, but I'll go into this in my drafts of the week. So I'll just hide this now. So looking at this, so what are CLG going to be looking to do with this comp? Well, they've got they haven't got a really safe AD carry, but they've got a decent bot lane. That's a different story if that hits. That's a real shame. It's always good to invade with a Morg and a Ryze, because Ryze leveled his W, expecting that to land, because if he did, that's unfortunate for the Ryze. And they look for another one there. Okay, they need to back out here. They didn't get any wards in. TSM did well. They looked for the defensive 5v5. That's really unfortunate there for CLG not getting the Graves. That would have come maybe. I think TSM win this match. Yeah, they do. So what was I saying? So CLG, they're going to look to split push with the Ryze, use the and then siege up 4-man into the mid with the Morgana. This is what CLG does. They always split push with their top laner, and then they have a tanky jungler. They have a utility mid laner, and then kind of a nice bot lane. So they stick as a 4. They know how to play against 4v4 and 1v1 really well. The problem with this is that they don't get the 1v1 laner that is the best. They don't get Fiora. On top of this, every other pick for TSM is a power pick. So this is really bad. And this is the problem with CLG as a team. Not necessarily their comp, but as a team. This is all they do. And this will be exemplified in the video. So I think Ashe is a really nice pickup into Kalista. I like playing Ashe myself, and being able to play Ashe into Kalista is such a nice thing. But the problem with always playing Ashe is I actually consider myself a bit of an Ashe main. I have like 60k points or something on Ashe, I think. The problem with playing Ashe into a team is always the mid laner and the jungler, but they're pretty safe and they can do well here with the black shield, so it's pretty nice. There's no massive problem playing Ashe into this team comp, bar the Fiora, but playing anyone into Fiora is just a problem. I don't think you can give Fiora up. I think you have to ban Fiora on blue side, if I'm honest. It's a really solid ban. So Ashe is I think Ashe is really good in Kalista. Yes, you can dodge your arrow pretty easily, but you just have so much point and click slow and CC and range on her that you can bully her a little bit, which is something, and slow her down and stop her hopping as much, which is something that a lot of champions have problems with. So Rek'Sai is just going to look to farm here, provide early pressure. Graves is going to need to gank something. And he's going to need to do it he's going to need to snowball a lane to beat out the Rek'Sai, because the Rek'Sai should be hovering. Rek'Sai should be hovering around the top side here and looking to protect and get the Ryze ahead while protecting the Victor on this side of the map. While the Graves should know this and go for this. But the problem with it is Ashe's got Ashe's E is actually very underrated in terms of what it can do. For vision control, if you can use it properly. And the Victor into the mid lane is just such a safe pick. Victor's a very underrated pick, I think, in the West. In the in Korea, it's used to so much potency. So they're going in on the thing here, but did they burn the flash? He burnt his flash. Are they going to get him? They're not going to get him. Okay, so they managed to get Fiora's flash though. So flash for 2 flashes, so it's not really worth. I think you don't have the mana on Rise. You should have just let that go. But instead, the Graves is gonna start just beating at the Rek'Sai. This is what I mean. Like the Graves will focus on bot because Ashe has got her vision to be able to hold bot lane in vision. Rek'Sai's gonna sit here and protect this because you have to play around the Rise. So Bergson 1v1 he shouldn't be fighting into that creep wave at all. That's such a misplay. So CLG's down really far behind. Rek'Sai's really behind on farm. Graves can just sit in his jungle. Svensson's good at this. Graves will just sit in his jungle and demolish him. But I mean, you shouldn't. This is something you should know because look at the creep aggro he's getting here as well. He's only got 2 creeps, granted, but I mean, a level 4 Victor just wants to wave clear, and you should do that. I think that's a really poor fight. Especially, yeah, I just think that's a really poor fight. So Ashe's, I think people build Essence Reaver on her now for competitive, but personally, I'm actually a massive advocate of something I've been testing for a long while now, which is either a Bloodthirster or a Blade of the Ruined King. First item on Ashe. I'm going for quite a wonky build, it looks, but it's actually really nice. It's something that a lot of people underrate. The reason I go, not the reason I go, but the reason I believe that what do you call it? I believe that a lifesteal item first on Ashe is much better than what do you call it? Okay, this is the power here. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by this. I was wondering when the hell he's going to take this because that's ridiculous. Oh, we got it. Wow, that's just lucky. That's really bad pathing by X-Smith, and he's lucky that he managed to snipe that away. That's really bad play by Svensson to take that away. So the reason I like building a Bork or a Bloodthirster first with Ashe is due to the fact that a lot of people seem to think like, oh, but then I can do more damage with my autos. Well, Bloodthirster has a lot of AD on it, and she needs to get autos off in the fight to be able to get her power up, which is the Q. Like, all her power is actually in her Q. Her W does a bit of damage, but it's all about the Q for the slow, for the kiting, for everything. If you build a Bloodthirster and go into the mid game with the sustain that a Bloodthirster gives you along with the damage, you will stick in fights a lot harder than people realise, and you will be able to get off 2, maybe 3 Qs because you're just pumping out damage constantly with your Q, the attack speed steroid it gives. And the same with Bork as well into a tanky lineup or a dueling lineup. Like, Bork is really, really underrated on her. That's just my spiel about, you know, lifesteal Ashe. One sec. So basically what Graves has done here is he's realised the Rek'Sai kind of fucked herself. And there's no winning lanes because Rek'Sai fucked herself on this. So he's basically just gone and done this and power farmed this side of the jungle. Yeah, no, Star's looking for a roam. Sorry. So basically Graves is just eating this jungle and Rek'Sai's coming back. But I mean, yeah, this is really, really poor pathing because Ashe is still in bot lane and they've got Kalista. They managed to get the AD carry there, but I mean, there's just not enough damage and the Graves is just really fed. It's this is just really poor like execution on the side of CLG more than it is TSM dominating. Like, I like some of the picks in CLG, but they just seem to be making the wrong decisions at the wrong time, going aggressive at the wrong things. Like, Huhi into Bjergsen is looking like a really poor matchup. He doesn't seem to know how to play the Victor Lissandra matchup or something, and it's looking really poor. Giving away Kalista Alistar is just a no-no as well. Even into the counter pick of Morgana, I still think like Alistar is just such a good pick, and then, you know, Graves comes in and cleans that up. So on top of that, the counter pick that the I think they picked Rise first. I think it was first pick Rise if I remember correctly. I might be talking on my ass here, but with the first pick Rise, basically like The first pick Rise isn't ahead, so the team has to now play so defensively, but the Victor's already 0-2. And yes, Victor can do a lot with being 0-2. He can just wave clear, blah blah blah. But it's now how do you stop the bleeding at this point? So they need to just wave clear. They need to pressure him. But TSM actually has pretty good siege with double 8, 2 pretty good siege AD carries, one good, one meh, and then a really good wave clear / pick champion. A Lissandra ahead is a horrible thing. I don't understand why a lot of people have gone off the boil of Lissandra, actually. I think she's a great pick, and people need to, that was a really smart path there. But, yeah, so, they've just got the advantage this side of the map, and they haven't, basically what's happened here is Xmithy doing that really bad gank in top lane up here, has then let the Graves get in and just screwed his shit, because Graves was focusing on this side of the map anyway. He should have just done this to get the Rise ahead, not burn any flashes, doobly-doo, because now the Rise doesn't have a flash, the Fiora has more mobility, so Fiora's flash is worth less than Rise's flash. With Xmithy also burning his flash, this means that there's no pressure in top lane for a kill, so Fiora can just go ham. On top of that, like, now he's just not playing around. They've been screwed in the mid lane. They're screwed. He's having to play super into the bot lane, and then that's interesting. But by doing this, that's such a safe lane. Like, you can't do this. They know you're there, mate. Oh, he's gone. Okay, he's already. No, has he based? Yeah, he's already based. So it's kind of I think, like, people will look like, I think the 2 points of weakness here. Well, there's 3 points of weakness. The problem with first is CLG's terrible draft. This is not a bad draft. This is where the draft falls down, because you've just given like every wanting pick ever. Like, this is such a strong comp. This should never be let people have. So that's terrible. And then the second point was this terrible gank up top lane where they burnt too much and didn't get anything for it, and then the 1v1s in here. So that's the point where the game starts falling down, because Graves is now just bullying. Like, Rek'Sai has more farm, but Graves has, like, I think this is all jungle, and this is like lane as well. Like, if you just look like Cinderhulk warrior, who would you rather have? Yeah. So it's going for a really risky gank here, and they don't have the yellow star blocks out. Yeah, you can't really do anything. They can just roam on top of this Rise. They pressure him. They're going to take top tower for this, and CLG might not even get the bot tower. Smithy's going to do his best to make sure that they won't base, so they get the top, and will they answer with a bot? They do, they answer the bot. Now CLG needs to take this dragon, and they need to stem this bleeding by having an inflated gold lead. So they do. This is a really good play. But they're not playing around the top lane. This is a ticking time bomb. This is like where teams win or lose it, this part. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This is where the whole game matters, top lane. And if you look, 30 odd CS behind at 13 minutes. That's this game. Is now on a timer, because who has the first item completed? Fiora. Fiora can now just bully the hell out of this Rise. She's tanky as hell. So, yeah. I'm just going to see how long it takes. Like 5 minutes, 10 at the most for this to go. And the problem as well is this Lissandra's ahead. So, she's got a rod first before, and he's had to go for the Negatron instead of being able to go for some CDR or something to stem the bleeding. So what this means is the Fed Lissandra can just pick off anything in this team. And that's a real problem. So They did take the dragon, didn't they? Please tell me that. Yeah, they did. Oh, thank God for that. I was going to say that's just terrible. But even like, this is what I mean. Like, the Fiora knows she can just bully this Rise since that failed like level 3 gank. And Xmethy just can't do anything in the game because the Graves just took all his farm and all his EXP and everything. He did well getting back into the game a little bit, but it's still like really dire. That's a really good Q flash. Good ult into that. But I think it's kind of... I think you flash earlier than that. You just flash to get away, and Xmethy is just in the wrong place. Let me catch him. I don't think they need... Okay, and yeah, they're just cleaning up the fight now. So I think the Victor roams too late there, and I don't know, was Rise even in that fight? I didn't see Rise at all. If he came in, he died like instantly, which is a really bad point. So yeah, that fight was just a mess for CLG. No one on the same page, no one communicating. Like here, they should now start bringing the mid laner down, and Rise should teleport in. I think now you flash, because you just need to get away from them. You're so greedy with the flash there. You flash so the Graves can't even hit you in the first place, but instead he goes for the kind of the, oh, cheekily do it out of the way. So here is the Rise, but he's behind 3 people. This is just such miscommunication. There's no peel for him, there's nothing, there's no front line. And this is another reason why I don't like this this team comp by CLG. There's just no front line. Like, yes, there's a Rek'Sai, and Rek'Sai is a great like frontline champion in my opinion, but not on her own. You need like a tanky support or a tanky top laner to supplement it. It's not like having a Tam Kench in the team where you can have like Tam Kench and you're kind of okay, or Mundo or something. You need like Rek'Sai and. It's like having like only a Thresh. I don't like Team Vitality's team comps in the EU LCS either for this reason. You need like Thresh and. You need Rek'Sai and. You know? If you're playing a carry top laner, your jungler needs to play a tanky champion, and your support needs to play a tanky champion. You need to have that front line in the current AD carry meta, with picks like Alistar and Braum being the two big ones, and Nautilus and Trundle being the 2 supportive ones, like the second tier. That's not saying that you can't play champions like Morgana, but you need to then have like a tank. You need to have these 2 as your tanky front line. Pick like Morgana and then two carries there. So CLG is not CLG. TSM's like 5k ahead. It's actually about 4k because of the dragon. Gives about k of gold. Check my channel for why that is. You know, on these champions, it's going to be pretty well. There's like 4 champions there that can use it. It's pretty nice. Sorry about the sniffling, by the way. So they're going to look to siege up mid because they've got both these towers. They've got, you know, there's no pressure down here. Who is Rise with? Yeah, they can just siege them off, and this is why I like picks like Graves and Lissandra and things. I like Zone. Zone is so underrated by Western teams. You see Korean teams playing around it so well. The only team I actually see doing it quite well are, God, who does it really well? I think it might be CLG I've seen doing it quite well. Where you pick things like Victor and you kind of just like stick things in front of them and go, you know, get to me, basically. But if you notice, they're always sacrificing their AD carry or their mid laner for their top laner. And this is the massive strength / weakness. If they get the right champion, they play around it correctly, some play goes off. It's like, I think with CLG's games, it's like 70-30. If they get the top laner ahead, they're probably going to win. Like, let's just say for argument's sake, it's 100% win. But if that play doesn't work, they're behind, they're not going to do so well, everything like this. So they get the Rift, they get Gerald there. And Gerald, they gave the Gerald buff to Fiora so she can split push. You should not have this Ashe in the side lane. Like, yes, you should have her now because it's free lane, but you need to now move this away and stick her here. But then you're not playing around the Rise, and this is the problem with the Rise pick. It's like you know, it's such a poor draft, and yeah, as well, don't like this Essence Reaver. Like, all you're gonna do is lower the cooldown on your W and your arrow, which why you play like Ashe is great with her arrow, but she shouldn't just be an arrow. I think she actually does a lot more damage than people give her credit for. And there's no one really on this team to make a pick on. Like, Alistar, out of it. Kalista pulls out the Alistar as well. Alistar's just going to be... So the people who she can probably hit. This. The only person you have any chance of, like, blowing up is the Fiora. But Fiora's pretty tanky, so, you know, not going to do that. Can't kill Alistar. Kalista's not going to be in range. Alistar's going to be stood in front of the Kalista. Lissandra can ult herself, or she can, you know, just path away or something. So this is, I mean, like, I like the Ashe pick. I don't think the Ashe pick is the problem, but I just think the way it's being used is a problem, if that makes sense. Like, they have a really big front line, so they're going in. Sorry, I'll continue that in a sec. So they go in here. See what I mean? Like the Ashe, the ultimate from thing blocks that, and now the re-engage just murders them. And say for argument's sake there that they got double lift, then what? It's so this game is just a complete and utter stomp, and this is what I was talking about. This is when you know the game's over, because their whole focus was this, and he just got 1v1 pretty much for all the HP by the most broken champion in the game. So yeah, sorry again for sniffling, my bad. So yeah, not a great game for CLG. If you look here, so they go on the back line here, they do pretty well, and then it's gone. Like that's it now, gone. It's a great ultimate here by VX. Look at that, it's beautiful. But this is what I was talking about, where, like, say they got double lift there, it's like, but they were dead even without double lift's damage. So, you know. They're now just going to look to strangle out Vision around the Baron, because the Baron's the next big objective. Baron in this mid tower here. Sorry about that. So, I'll sit a little bit closer to the mic. So Ashe should not be here at all. Ashe is what you put your kind of... You can't, like, let her almost, you know, no mobility champion. Like, you really can't sit her in a side lane. They should have punished this, but they're going to rotate to mid. There is a Victor in the mid, so they need to make a dive here. They need to zone an anti-siege, and they're looking for the flank here with Lissandra. Smart not to go in there. Sorry about that. So, yeah, they could just push them off the tower. They have no presence with no front line to CLG, so they can't go up to this tower. They're so far behind. They've got no presence in the game. They just have to give everything up that TSM look for. And this is what I was talking about in my other VOD review the other day. There was just a point where, who was it who was playing I reviewed? I'm looking for the engage here, I'll talk about it in a second. Great Alistar ult. And now they can just look to... So they've blown up the Morgana. They had to blow so... Like, CLG there had to blow so much just to get away from TSM. You know? TSM, yeah, they did blow all their ultimates, but they got a kill, they got pressure, they weakened so much of this, and now they've got Baron control, pretty much. So now they're going to look to do Baron. They're right to look to do Baron here. There's not much CLG can do about this. Yellow Star here has to just knock this Rek'Sai away. Yep, see, just controls him with the back while they blow up the Rise. Like, CLG have no right being there for that. Absolute no right, and you can't kill that. Yeah, and he's gonna get blown up. Can they do any damage? See, there's just no damage to that. This tanky build Fiora is so bullshit. And now I think that this is even going to get away. Yeah. Okay, so they managed to get a kill. And they're going to get the tower off the back end of this. I don't know, because Lissandra is, so I'll try to click there, yeah. Lissandra is in the mid lane, shoving this. Managed to get a good chunk off that tower for this tier 1. That's the I trade that any day. And they're going to get kills as well. So they stay too long as well for this tower. They're tilting really hard here. Because I think Graves will be able to blow them up. Boom. And the ult, yeah. They stay too long for the tower as well. They've got no right being there. This game here is just CLG making one bad decision after another and snowballing from that one or two bad decisions with the game plan not working. Which is it's really surprising that as well. Because they have the insurance policy of the victor, but they're just so focused around playing around this top lane that the second it goes wrong, they falter. Double F was too far forward there, he shouldn't be chunked like that. Okay. Yeah, the Double F just getting too cocky there. I know they're ahead, but you should learn to close out a game. I don't think Rek'Sai should have been going forward there. She should have been peeling off for the rise. And this is just a flank coming in. It's poor team fighting again by CLG. Poor synergy. Like, they need to really be looking at like having a decisive like voice in the thing and just saying, right, okay, peel back, do this, do that. I know that's like basic and like, oh, but how would you implement that? It's like, well, I'm not part of the team, so I wouldn't be telling you this now. If I was part of a team, I'd help them with that, but you know. I'm not. I'm just a YouTuber with a voice, and now they managed to take this. But Alistar actually does well. Like, yes, he dies, but he does well just delaying the victor. They get a support death for an inhib worth every day of the week. Attack 2 towers and an inhib, I think, or 1 tower and an inhib worth every day of the week. So now they've got Dragon and Baron up on the field. So if you look at double lift is just always too far forward. He gets bursted there, and then he's just too far forward again over here, and then he gets caught, and that's just bad play by double lift. And then this, you should not be here. You should not be going for this, because this is just bait. And now they blow up the two carries, and this is done. That's what I mean. They're so focused on like someone darting around their eye line that they're not looking what's coming from around there. That's a really good pick. That's what they should have been doing before. They knew where everyone was and they went for one of the carries that was in front of them. It was a really nice pick. I just think they're too far behind. They're 11k behind, and the Fury's in the base. They can't go for this. This is they can't. Yeah, why are they even attacking that? Fury's in the base with a massive minion wave. TSM now just have to delay. Yeah. Afro move's going too far forward. Yeah, and it's just clean up now. And Smithy always seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time in this game. It's a real I usually like his play. That's just been really bad. And they should just look to close out the game here. This should be game. So look, yeah, this is game. So I hope you enjoyed my VOD review of CLG versus TSM. Subscribe to my channel for more VOD reviews and more league related analysis. Remember to like and comment down below with what you think, and general comments about my new channel layout and stuff would be muchly appreciated. Follow me on Google Plus and Twitter. I tweet every now and again, so cool. Yeah, so do all that good stuff. Have a nice day, and I will see you around. Bye bye.